for the Commission. To start with, let me introduce to you our Director, Policy and Regulation, Mr. Leo Aka, who will take us through this session. Mr. Leo Aka, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Can you hear us, Mr. Aka?
Oh, yes. Yes. Thank you very much for welcoming me.
Okay. So to start with, he's going to take us on the regulatory requirements for Insurtech, the NAICOM's perspective, what are required by Insurtech in the Nigerian law or in the context of the Nigerian law. Mr. Aka is a lawyer, an insurer of many years, and has been spearheading the Directorate for Policy and Regulation of the Commission. So, Mr. Aka, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mine now. I hope I'm being heard. Are you hearing me? Hello, house.
I don't know whether it's from my end, but the line is breaking.
The line is breaking?
No, you are clear now, I think.
Okay, you're hearing me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. That's what I'm asking. Is it for me now to begin to comment?
Yes, as it is with the previous discussions, this session is to take us, that's the accelerator program. This session is actually to take us through the regulatory requirements for Insurtech. What is NAICOM's perspective? What does the law say? What are they expected to do? And many things that they will need to know from the regulator's perspective.
Okay, can I now comment?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you, everybody. First of all, I want to appreciate you for inviting me. Incidentally, this is my first contact with BIM Lab. The first time I heard the word BIM Lab, I had to ask, what is BIM Lab? So at a point, I was made to understand that this is a Swahili word, simply meaning insurance lab. And as I went through my research, I saw in some other jurisdictions, it has various names, but all saying the same thing, a lab for insurance. In Nigeria, we've, as well known to everybody, I think we've adopted the BIM Lab as our own, it's what we used to identify this important accelerator program. So, having said that, I would want to start by telling you that in Nigeria, we have not actually commenced in Insurtech for now. Incidentally, we have made a little move I wouldn't know whether it meant placing the horse before the cart or the cart now before the horse. We have issued a guideline on web aggregators, which from what I have just seen, is like the web aggregator should even take off after the BIM lab has commenced, because I believe is when the BIM lab looks at solution, people coming up with different solutions, and these solutions being tested by experts. It's only when that have been done, you can now migrate to the possibly apply aggregator, you know. And of course, we also had issued a guideline on Sandbox, which is again similar to this, because Sandbox again is a platform where products could be tested to know how it will fare when eventually approved and go for into circulation to the entire public. So I think I would want to start by telling you, taking you through call it the checklist the commission has in terms towards licensing insurance operators. Of course, in Nigeria, for you to participate in insurance in any form, be it at agency level, brokerage level, insurance, and otherwise, you need to have the approval of the regulator, which is the National Insurance Commission. And of course, there are several different requirements for each segment. For the agents, of course, we do, you just have to have, here we don't allow independent agents. What we do here is that our agents must be attached to some operators, some insurance underwriters, right? Now for brokers, it's the other way around. Brokers can operate, they are independent agents in a way, because they can place their businesses anywhere, any company of their choice. They are not limited as to where they can place their business. So what I want to do is I would like to share the registration requirements for some of these things, starting from brokers, which is a major, because for insurance agents, not much is required. It's just a single requirement. You just have to have a certification that you have, you have a basic knowledge of insurance. That's all. And of course, you attach to a principal. So I would like to share the requirements for insurance, for licensing insurance. Let's do this. No, let's do that of brokers first. I think the brokers, where's the brokers? Just hold on, please. Just hold on. This one is sent to brokers. Just say insurance brokers. This insurance institution. Let's look for insurance. Sure. Go to registration requirements. Wait just a minute. I can try brokers again. Okay. Now, yes, as you can see, as you can see, these are registration requirements for insurance brokers. I will not bother you taking each of these items one by one, but as you go through them, I'm sure you may have one or two questions as to why we require these and maybe for what use and all that. These are what we require from any interested broker who wants to do insurance brokering in Nigeria. So I'm just so these are the requirements, and of course some are quite key. Definitely, I want to start by telling you that first of all, you must be registered as a company with a corporate affairs commission that has the statutory responsibility to register companies. Of course, you have your MEMAT, memorandum and articles of association, and all that. You can see even the monetary aspect, the amount required to get the form. The issue of who becomes your CEO, it must be qualified by our law. You have to have your professional indemnity, a minimum of, you can see the minimum there. You can go as high as you, depending on how you want to play, the level you would like to play in the business. Of course, a host of other requirements there you can see. I wouldn't know, before I move to that of underwriters, I don't know whether you have any question to ask before I share the requirements for other insurance institutions. So I'll pause at this point in case you have any question to ask, please. So I want to take one or two comments or questions before we progress. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. I think we can't see your screen.
Oh, you're not seeing my screen?
No.
Okay, just hold on. Hello. Yeah, I'm on my wife. I'm on a meeting. Thank you. Can you see the screen now? Hello?
Yes, we can.
Yes, now we can. Yes, now we can see.
Yes, we can see that.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see till number 18.
Yes, it's shared. It's shared. So
are you seeing it?
Can be seen.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, yes, of course, I've taken you through it, and I wanted to see whether you have any question or comment as it, if there's anyone you want me to elaborate, I can take you through. I've just given you the highlights, what is required. I say, first of all, the first stage is that you must register a company because here, what our law allows is either partnership or a limited liability, firm to be licensed as an insurance broker. So the first is that you register a company with a corporate affairs commission. Thereafter, there are a host of other requirements, as you can see there. Of course, one other key thing that we bother is it must be run by, our law requires that a broker must be run by a professional with who has a minimum of 5 years post-qualification experience and of course be a member of the NCRIB, Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers. So these are the requirements as you can see them. So in case you have question, please, I would attend to it. If not, I will move to the other requirements.
I have a question. Can I ask something?
Oh yeah, you can. You're free.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Valence Habimana. I'm a CEO of Falcon Insurance Broker.
Okay.
We are located in Kigali, Rwanda. The company has been there for almost 5 years.
Okay.
And I own it and I'm running it. I can see in your requirement if I got, some of them are normally similar to every licensing in Africa on insurance market, but there are something which not really relevant. Like number 12, evidence of resignation of the previous CEO.
Okay.
Why are we concerned with the previous one? We are now submitting for, let's say, example for XYZ company, which is looking for a licensing, and the requirement is 1BCDA. So why are we, or do we have to trail back and bring some back issues which are not concerning us? That is not really important in this compression. And I can make like the number 15 to be the number 1.
Okay.
Yeah, to complete what we call a personal declaration form or company declaration form or application forms. That is the main things. It shows what is who is requesting the license and where his address and where he's going. So sometimes there are some things which are not really whatever. And this kind of number 5, number 6.
Okay.
As we going, I think everyone knows here what we call corporate governance and yes, IFRS, right? And we know how the Solvency II work. So if, for quick one, if I go into deep explanatory, every quarter there is a report of the company which shows the operation of the company in and out. If the regulator sees that something suspicious or wrong, so they have to come in and advise you as per regulatory. So I don't think that the declaration are necessary, because declaration does not prevent someone to go on wrong side. Sorry to use the word. I'm still checking, but I have seen some relevant, some ending by saying that it depends from one country. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Okay, thank you very much. Though the line was, it was on and off, but I think I was able to pick. You have issue with the item 5, 6, 12, 15. If I'm right, if there's anyone I'm missing, please, after my comments, you can still raise them again. Okay, maybe let me start with the very first one you were asking why, which is 12. 12 says evidence of resignation of the proposed CEO from previous employment. Mind you, like I did say, who becomes the CEO of the brokerage firm is important. And it depends where the person, of course, whoever becomes a CEO must pass through our due diligence test. It is key. We want to be sure the CEO is a fit and proper person who can run an insurance brokerage firm. So if you, of course, it is assumed that the person was working somewhere else prior to the application. So we want to see evidence he or she has exited from where he was before, where he or she was before. That is the essence of that. If I really got your question on the essence of that question, why are we asking for that evidence of resignation? And of course, in the licensing proper, we do not require you to show evidence of resignation at the very first stage. It is when possible, I think the second or the third stage, when we're almost certain that license will be given to you, that we now ask. All that is usually required at the initial stage is your intention to work, your desire, your willingness to work in the new company. So when you show that, but before we give you license, definitely we must have evidence that you have resigned from where you were before. That's the for number 12. I believe I got your question. Like I said, something was wobbling. So what I had was why these issues. 15 is completed personal data. You said it should have been number 1. Okay, of course, the other is not an issue where it is placed, whether it's placed as number 1 or number 2 or whatever. But these are things that must be done before you can get your license. So I wouldn't know whether you really, if you do agree that there's need to have a personal data of the CEO, of course, again, we want to, this is one of those things that will help the regulator to appraise your fit and proper person's, status. So when you get your personal history statement, we'll call it personal history statement here, when we get it, which is usually very detailed, it even goes beyond your person into goes to the extent of talking about even your parents, your siblings, and all that. If we get all that information, it helps to know who is this fellow we are about giving license, because actually the license is usually given because of the CEO. It may not really be because of other promoters who may not be even insurance persons. Now, for 6, sworn declaration by the CEO as the company financial. 5, sworn declaration of the CEO to the location of principal place of business. I think this, if I really understand your question, I think that these are basic information that are very, very important, which the regulator need to know before you can be given license. We need to know where you'll be operating from. It's almost a statutory thing. Your place of business, need to, even at CAC level, that corporate and affairs commission level, when you're licensing a company, you must indicate your principal place of business. And of course, as to the financial status, sworn declaration by the CEO as to the company's financials. Of course, this just to show that you have the means to if given the license to run the company. So I believe I've attempted all the questions you raised. I wouldn't know if there's any other person who still has a question to ask. Otherwise, I will move to other requirements. But I will still, let me give room for in case somebody wants to comment, or even the last person who commented, the CEO of Falcon Insurance Broker. I don't know whether I've touched all the issues you raised. Otherwise, if I've not, please draw my attention to the remaining ones. Thanks.
There are
thank you,
other
sir. Thank you.
questions at the comment chat box, but I think we are coming to them. You can go ahead and ask a question. Sorry.
Okay, no more questions.
Toby, have you had your question answered? Oh, Leo, Toby is asking for the requirements for microinsurance.
Yes, we are done with this now. In absence of any further question, we'll be I'll be moving to that now. I'll share the screen on that, the requirements on that now.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry, sir, I think you missed the other one. You wanted to talk about the requirement for the agency before
Sorry?
microinsurance.
Sorry?
I think you omitted the requirement for agency registration because
For
you finished
agency?
the broker. Yeah, for an agent.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. I made a statement. I made a statement to say that for agents, generally speaking, of course, they're all agents, even brokers are agents, but for this purpose, the natural persons here, we license only natural persons as insurance agents. And I said, there are just two basic requirements, right? There's a company that is willing to propose you, because we don't have independent agents. What we have is dependent agents. There's an underwriter that you first of all approach that should give you a kind of we send a note to the regulator to say, look, this fellow will be doing business with me. So the only requirement for that one is just you having a proficiency certificate. So it's not there's no long list, just like we saw in that of brokers now. So it's not much. It's just to show that. But we assume as regulators that the agent, not only that the law says that agent is the agent of the underwriter, unlike the brokers, which is the agent of the insured. We believe that, or our position is that the underwriter should train you, particularly the products you'll be selling for them, for you to be able to do that assignment. You should be very knowledgeable in the product you'll be selling. So not really much. And mind you, for agents, there's no qualification, no minimum qualification in terms of academic qualification. I only mentioned proficiency certificate, which is just a 1 or 2 days thing. It is the underwriter that you'll be working for that will spend more time taking you through their own the products they want you to be selling for them. So we don't really have long list of requirements for agents. So that's why I didn't bother sharing this a screen on that. If you're okay with that, I would now want to move to microinsurance. Microinsurance. I hope my screen is being seen. I've already shared it. Are we together? Are you seeing my scripts?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So what we did for microinsurance, of course, the commission started licensing microinsurance, I think from 2015 thereabouts. Prior to then, there was no microinsurance, in our jurisdiction. So, and of course, the first thing we did was to issue a guideline to regulate this aspect of this kind of insurance, and the commission was quite very sensitive to it, because microinsurance, the target market, is a very delicate segment of the society that you must ensure that these people, the things are broken down in such a way that they will understand the products they are buying, all the complexities, all the jargons you find in the conventional insurance, we find, are simplified. So now licensing insurance company, we broke them into stages. You can see our preliminary stage, where you have a letter of intent from promoters, you submit your application. And of course, in all this, I did say this before, the first stage, the very first thing is for you to register the company, because again, natural persons cannot be taken to a micro underwriter. So it is a limited liability company. So here you register it it's only when you have registered a company that you now approach the regulator, insurance regulator, to be licensed as either an insurance company, brokerage, or wherever. So in this case, as a micro insurer, you now see the requirements again, and I did tell you, this broken into different stages. The very first stage is what I'm just scrolling now. I think the major thing you find here, apart from licensing the company, approaching the commission with a letter of intent that you want to do business, and of course here you tell us the class of business you want to transact. Again, we do have categories of this license. We have state microinsurance operators. We have national. State are those who operate or who should operate in a state, in a limit, their limit is not, you can't operate beyond a state, jurisdiction of geographical location of a state, depending on the state of your choice. And of course, the requirement in terms of the licensing fee varies. There's some, of course, again, one of the very key things I would like to mention is the item 18 here, where you see reinsurance comfort letter for the provision of reinsurance arrangement. Just like you do know that for conventional underwriters, you just have to have a reinsurance backing for you to venture. So here again, we want a letter of comfort from a reinsurance company or companies to say, look, we'll be prepared to give you the necessary reinsurance support when you eventually take off. We would like to see your business plan. Now, in the second stage, we want to have your underwriting and marketing procedure and processes, product development and actuarial statement for product pricing, complaints and grievance management. This is very key. Complaints and grievance management system and procedures. We want to see how somebody, an insurance, your insurance, you are insured if eventually licensed, if it has any issue, how such issue will be handled. We want to see the structures, where does such a person complain to, and all that, corporate governance and internal control structures. We want to see that. Claims administration process and procedure, all that must be submitted. Now, of course, very important again, submission of microinsurance product specimen. Want to see, because as we are licensing you, we also want to see the kind of products you want to sell eventually when licensed. Of course, you send to us specimen of your policy document, proposal, cover, all that you can see listed under item 6 there. And of course, again, very important is the evidence of SLA or MOU, as the case may be. Usually, as we all know, microinsurance usually do want to approach their clients through groups, groups, not on individual basis, because the cost of will be quite high. Have some understanding with some groups you want to give service to, Now, the next stage, which is stage 3, we at this point want to see that you have engaged somebody to run the company as the CEO, key personnel, heads of units, those we want to engage. And at this point now, it's almost we are certain that you'll be licensed. So we will be asking you to make a deposit 50%. This is a law now. 50% of your paid-up share capital with the Central Bank of Nigeria. This money where is the statutory deposit, when it is done, and after you have commenced business, then a part of this money can still be withdrawn to help you run the company. You can see the licensing fee depending on the class. You want to like I did say before, you have state license, you have national license. So whatever you're going to pay is dependent on the category of operation you want to embark on. So of course, when this is done, then you are home and dry. The fourth stage, and which is the final stage, is the issuance of the license proper. So at this point, I will pause again and take comments or questions as the case may be. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aka.
Yeah.
Please, any question regarding this presentation on the microinsurance?
I have a question, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
What is the turnaround time once an application is lodged to the regulator? Thank you.
Okay. If I understand you are asking time it could take to process an application and issue a license. Is that right?
Exactly.
Good. It's neither here nor there. A lot depends on the applicant. Assuming you're able to provide all that is required timely, it shouldn't take more than 2 months. It shouldn't take more than 2 months. But of course, like I did say, sometimes you find that when we ask you, that's why we make sure that the requirements are known before you even commence. So if you are very ready and you know what you need to do, I'm sure it can even be done far less than the 2 months I just mentioned. But from experience, you find sometimes it could linger, because of, and of course, again, we do conduct due diligence in terms of the fit and proper persons test. That again could cause some little delay on our own side. Why I say on our own side, that it is the regulator that does that due diligence. And you know very well that sometimes this due diligence will involve you reaching out to some other institutions, some other financial regulators, and all that. And sometimes they take their time. Let me just put it that way. They take their time. And again, in course of before you even when you are done with all that stage, those stages I mentioned, before we do notify the general public. We do a publication to say ABC microinsurance is about being licensed, and in that I call it publication, we indicate the names of the directors, the executives, executive directors and non-executive directors. So for the public, in case they have any objection to the licensing, and the 21 days is usually given for this, right? So these two things I mentioned now could have, but beyond this, ordinarily, if you're able to reduce the turnaround by just supplying the regulator all that is required each time you are done with the particular stage and you want to move to the next stage, definitely it will not take so much time. So I believe have an idea now how long it could take. Thank you.
So another just additional clarification. Does this duration of application apply to every applicant, like insurance company, insurance, microinsurance, insurance brokers? That is the one. Secondly, I do understand that you.
Sorry. Can you repeat? Sorry, can you repeat that first one? I didn't get it.
Thank you, sir. I'm saying that is this turning around time is it applicable to every applicant, like insurance company, insurance broker, micro insurance, and so every actor of the under or through the regulations?
Okay. Next one.
That is the one. That's the one. Secondly, I would like to maybe it's not a question, but it's some a curiosity. Basically, if we trust a regulator saying that you are the one giving license to this industry, this way of pre-publishing and they give like 21 days to the public for the public opinion, I think it's good, but again, it's not good. Reasons, you are not independent. What I should suggest that after you conducted your way of analysis and you see XYZ is able to get license, then you can license him. If me, who has a problem, direct to the licensed institutions, there is a channels of to address the issues. It's not the issue which I'm sure that even that issue will be handled by you as a regulator. Maybe I have the issue with the licensed, but the issue will be handled by some other government institutions. Okay. Yeah, that's what I could give like a comment. So opening it to the public could like engage some unnecessary, whatever, which, I'm sure that you understand what my concern. Thank you.
I do. Thank you very much. I do appreciate your concern on why do we even have to do the 21 days publication and all that. I want to simply, some of the things regulators do are usually a product of experience. I'll tell you, we have experienced a couple of times somebody will appear and say, look, I'm not a part of this institution. You're being licensed. My name is I saw my name being published. I've withdrawn my interest from, and that kind of a thing. Just to avoid a situation where if you don't do it, some people could use names of others and just particularly as non-executive directors, just to get license, because there are some names, there are individuals who really have goodwill, and when the regulator sees some names, they feel, oh, this is good. If Mr. or Mrs. ABC could be a director in this company, then this company must be a very good one. Maybe this fellow has a very rich goodwill, and that kind of a thing. We just want to be sure that only those who are actually interested in a company are the people that the regulator has considered for the license, because the issue of fit and proper persons, and you can imagine again, somebody may have run down a financial institution, and unknowing to the regulator, the same person appears maybe with some modeled names and come again under some other disguise to get a license. You find that the public will say, come, so you can get a petition to say, this fellow you want to give license was involved in this collapsed company that, and mention such things like that. So it's just to ensure that only fit and proper persons are licensed. However, I've noted your comment, but I'm only trying to give you reason why we do what we do now. Now, on the issue of the time, whether the kind of time I mentioned for microinsurance could as well go for the rest reinsurance, and all that. You find that again for the in most cases for underwriters, more time usually it will take more time, longer time than just 2 months. Because more things, maybe as you will see when we go through their own requirements, you begin to see reasons why it could take more time, right? Yes. So I think that's my response as to whether the same turnaround time I mentioned is same for others. So now let's now look at other companies. I mean, that's underwriters proper. Let's see what and what are usually required. And I want to also mention that in our jurisdiction, reinsurance there's no special, you don't really see special requirement for reinsurance. Similar thing that we require for underwriters, similar things are also required for reinsurance. You don't see something. The only difference could just be as to the amount of capital required, right? So what I'm saying is, you don't ask me, oh, what of reinsurance? So whatever you see here could as well go for reinsurance. So now I'm looking at underwriters, and I mean, when I'm talking of underwriters, I want to assume we all understand I'm referring to life companies and non-life companies. So I'm taking all. The only difference in whether if it's life or non-life is the capital requirement. If not, I mean, apart from that, the other things are almost the same. Of course, you can see, again, we have about three stages or three stages of licensing: the preliminary stage, the application stage, and the final stage. The preliminary stage, I continue to say, the first thing you have to license register a company with CAC, and when that is done, you provide a commission with, of course, you do an application indicating your intention to be licensed as an insurance company. And of course, that should be supported with profile of the directors, the MEMAT, that is what the company will be doing. If license, is it live, non-live? Who are the promoters of this company? Who are the promoters? We want to know who they are, because it's important. We are really very, very interested in ensuring that only fit and proper persons can invest. And sometimes, of course, we do ask the financial soundness of the promoters, or these guys who want to have this company licensed. Do they have the necessary financials for, because a lot will be required to have you get a license to underwrite business, whether life or non-life. A lot is required. We wouldn't want a case somebody goes to the bank to borrow money, and tomorrow is already having issues paying claims. So we want to look at the financial soundness of the promoters of the company. So after those preliminary checks, we move to the application stage proper, where in the application stage, what you are just seeing now, what will be required from you. One key thing, we want to see your 5-year business plan and feasibility study on the proposed class of business. We want to see, you want to register a company. Where do you want to operate? What is the market you're targeting? Where? Because sometimes, even with this, it helps to open the eyes of the promoters. It begins to make them, wow, look, do we have a target? Do we have a catchment area? Do we really have, business that can sustain this, our company, if licensed and all that? So it helps, when you begin to draw your business plan. it helps to open your vision, your focus as to where are we likely to be getting our business. We have, an area of we have identified that is not, others are not even operating in the existing companies. You can see the financial, the evidence of payment, some non-refundable application fee as much as 5 million naira will be paid. We want to know who are you proposing to be the CEO of this company. At the preliminary stage, we don't require evidence of resignation from where the person is working. It's only an intention, his willingness to work with you if eventually, because if the person should resign and eventually the company is not licensed, of course, that will become a serious issue. We want to see the organogram of the proposed company, and all that. Thereafter, we want to see specimen policies, proposal forms, all claims and all that, your premium, table of premium rates, the basis for it, operational manuals, underwriting, claims, product development, and complaint handling. All these are important. We want to go through them and make sure they meet the minimum requirements, right? Unlike the brokers, unlike the other one, we do conduct pre-registration interview. We want to really meet with the promoters of this company and have a chat with them. And of course, during the chat, it also gives us the opportunity to see how serious they are and where they really understand the terrain they want to move into. That's the essence of this pre-registration interview. It also gives them the opportunity to ask as many questions as possible as they will want to. You can see pre-registration, on-site inspection of principal place of business. You might want to know, where do you want to do this business from, your place of business. Of course, we want to know who are you going to be, the heads of department, your principal officers. Want to see evidence these guys are ready if license is given to start business, because it is quite a serious matter to have a license. So, because from the very moment you have your license, the counting starts. So, want to ensure that you have the principal officers ready. Then the final stage, of course, will be when you now pay the minimum, what you call the minimum paid up capital. And when that is done, I've said this before too, is a requirement of our law. 50% of that will be deposited at Central Bank of Nigeria. And the moment you start business, within the first 3 months of commencing business, you can apply for this 50%. You can apply for 80% of the 50% to be paid to you. Of course, it usually helps you to run your business eventually. When you have you commence, business proper. You can see other requirements. I'm just looking at those, which see your actuarial, your rates, your rating, how you are, I want to see the actuarial support, how those rates were derived, and we are particular to those ones when you are introducing some new products into the market. Those things will be interrogated seriously, and we ensure that the pricing of these products were well done. It's very important. Again, the 21 days notice we also do, where we do a publication to tell the world that, look, we are about licensing a particular company. If you have any objection, please raise. Otherwise, they say in the churches, they say, otherwise you pray for them. So we give you 21 days, the public 21 days notice to make any comment if there's need to do that. What else have I not said? Evidence of payment of registration fee issuance. So, of course, when that is done, the license will be issued. when you are met with, and as you can see, okay, no, let me not move to. So that's for insurance companies, including reinsurance companies. I now take your comments or questions if need be. Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
Good.
Yeah,
So I can take comments or questions, if any, before we move to another one.
Yes, quick question, and it's back to the microinsurance licensing.
Okay.
I'm trying to find the exact academic requirements for the CEO of a microinsurance company. Someone responded on the chat that the CEO needs to have some academic requirements or certification. So that's my question. What are they?
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me approach it from this way. The first thing I did say at the commencement of my presentation was to say that we started licensing microinsurance just about 2015 or thereabout. Now, the Insurance Act that really guides our operation is 2003. The Act did not specifically mention microinsurance there. That's one. Now, what we did, the Insurance Act made specific requirements for the approving of a CEO of an insurance company or a reinsurance company, right? The requirements are quite different. For you to be a CEO of an insurance company, for example, you must have. Okay. So you must have a minimum of, assuming you are an associate member. Because it's in two categories. If you're an associate member, you must have worked for a minimum of 10 years, right, in the insurance industry. And out of these 10 years, 7 must be at senior management level. If you are not an associate member, you must have worked for 15 years, 15 years, out of which 10 of the 15 years must be at senior management level in the technical department of the company or of any company, right? So these are the requirements for conventional insurance companies, whether life or non-life. But for micro, we now have to come up with something different, right? For example, the state microinsurance companies is 5 years relevant post-qualification experience for those who are associate members. For non-associate members, we say the minimum of 8 years working experience in the technical department. We took cognizance of the fact the nature of businesses done by these two classes. Microinsurance, you and me know, cannot be involved in special risks, oil and gas, aviation, marine, all those complex risks. So unlike the conventional companies. So that's why the requirements are not the same. Like I did say, one was prescribed by law. This other one, we use our experience as regulators to come up with it. We can vary it any day, anytime, right? Unlike the other one that needs to go back to Parliament to change. So I hope I've attempted to answer your question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other question or comment before I move to the next one and possibly the final? Can I go to the next slide? Okay.
Yeah. One question, if I may. This is Achille Sime, SLDRA. Can you guide us a little bit more into the internal process by the Commission? As you know, rates in insurance are key to ensure to guarantee the solvency of an insurance company. And then the requirement typically involve an actual assessment of these processes. Can you provide us more information related to the regulation related to rate, how the Commission ensure that rates proposed by different insurance companies are adequate in light of the protection to the insured? And if you can emphasize also on the need for innovation now and the digitalization, how the Commission react to all these challenges and incorporate those challenges into their processes.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy for this question because, first of all, let me lay the foundation. In our jurisdiction, and I believe same applies to many others, we have compulsory insurances. And of course, okay, let me say this, you can categorize all the products into two forms, compulsory products and non-compulsory products. For compulsory products, the rates, what you have minimum rates, and these rates are usually determined by the regulator. The rates, are usually determined by the regulator. Now, for non-compulsory products, insurance products, the rates are by the operators. They come up with their rates, and of course, this rate, that's the best thing to come. And of course, the rates is a matter of your experience. Your experience, we have something very peculiar in Nigeria when it comes to rate. The rates, we expect the market to even come up with what you call some market understanding, because in terms of rates, from what we are seeing, most people are simply using rates as one of their marketing, only marketing strategy. What rate did company A charge? Oh, we can come down, we can give you less. And that's it. So competition so much influence the market that rates, for the non-compulsory products that, operators should just go by their own experience and charge people. Our position as regulators is that, look, yes, there's no minimum rates for not such ones. We expect that people should be able to distinguish the quality of cover you're giving should be your strategy. Yes, somebody can be offering you something almost like free, but you find out it's an empty cover. I should be able to convince my client that, look, I'm giving you higher quality cover than the other company. That's why I'm charging you more. Just like if you go to the market, there are very cheap products. Nobody goes, or would I say, majority of people do not just go for the cheapest of the products. You go for a product that will satisfy your need, not the cheapest. It's not the price that. So there's a whole confusion in our market as to rates. But just take it that there are products that are compulsory by law, and these compulsory products, the regulator usually, of course, in collaboration with the operators, come up with what you call minimum rates, standard rates for them. The other not compulsory products, the rating should ordinarily be based on individual experiences. Of course, each should be supported by some actuarial, the actuaries should interrogate these risks and ensure they are sufficient to cover the risk. But I can say that I don't think this is the position. The rates sometimes are seem to be driven only by competition, right? So I don't know whether I've spoken to or I've addressed your concern on the issue of rate. So, but generally speaking, of course, as a regulator too, we, in order to checkmate some of the excesses of the operators, what we do these days is that you, as every operator, must submit to us, submit to the regulator your minimum rates for different products. So if you have reason to charge less, anything less, you must get our no objection, because at that point we want to know what has influenced you reducing. Of course, it's what you initially sent to us is your own. It's not like we are forcing you to charge X rate, but whatever rate you give to us, which of course in majority of the cases must be something reasonable. If you must charge less, then you need to explain, because we want to be sure that you'll be able to pay your claims. You should be able to pay your claims, because if you want to give free cover, it's up to you, but still we're also conscious of the fact that the insured must be able to get his claim paid if it arises in course of the year. So in that case, we are mindful, we make sure we balance the two situations. So I think that's on issue of rate. I would want to take the final one, which is the Takafu insurance. In absence of any further question, otherwise, if there are, I will still.
Sorry, please. What about the web aggregators?
Sorry?
Web aggregator.
Okay, I can still share my script on, my slide on that. Let me take, I'm trying to go through the entire classes we are currently issuing, licenses we are issuing. So the last is the Takafu. Maybe after this.
Sorry, sir. Yes, sorry, sir. I did have a question. Can I please ask?
Sorry?
Before you, I have a question. Can I ask before you proceed to Takafu?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. My name is Maybe Okonko from Turako. I think my question really, I just wanted to dive on what's the word now? Just wanted to write on the question on rate. And I can appreciate your concerns around or your feedback around why rate appears to be the only means of competition amongst the quote unquote conventional insurance company.
Yes.
And I was thinking what you think would be the relevance of product and product innovation as a way to address that concern. And I think, I don't know what your perception is, but my understanding for BIMA Lab is an Insurtech accelerator program. One of the things I find consistent amongst the requirements for the regulator for insurance companies is the fact that they must come back to seek approval for product bundling, for product innovation, and whilst that is highly commendable, because at the end of the day, you want to ensure that the products that are in the market are products that are being vetted. It's almost as though you cannot sell a drug without NAFDAC's approval number. So I can appreciate that. But how is the regulator working towards ensuring that there is no stifling per se? How will the regulator ensure that they sort of promote product innovation? And when you consider the innovation that the Insurtechs can bring to the market, and if you don't mind, it would be great to consider the impact fintechs have had in the market and how much innovation their products have sort of developed, especially the underserved. So as the regulator, and knowing that we already have this concern of rate and competition, competitive rate issues, what is the regulator or how do you intend to address that? Because when we think about the Insurtech and BIMA Lab and the impact to potentially have for new entrants coming into the market, how would you help, to ensure that it's something that the product and product innovation, product bundling, it's more or less a very smooth process and it's not so bureaucratic? I don't know if my question makes any sense, but I just wanted to hear your thoughts.
Okay, if I understand your question, I want to answer it by saying that for you to introduce any new product into the Nigerian market, you must get a written approval of the commission. And why this approval? The approval is that we want simply to interrogate what you have done or what you intend to do in terms of selling a product. We want to be sure. One of the key things is the pricing. One of the key things we check is the pricing. We interrogate our in-house actuaries. We also interrogate what your own actuary has done to ensure that this product is well priced. Well priced. You are not reaping the people. Neither are you charging less than the risk what should be the risk premium, for example, right? So so the Insurtech or whoever, any forum, any platform that wants to introduce any new market, any new product into the Nigerian market, one of our interests is to ensure this product, you've priced it, how was the pricing done? When we are done, we are satisfied, is one of the key things we check. So I believe this, has answered your concern as how will we handle the bid coming from Insurtech's products coming through that platform. So our concern is that, the first we do is that the product we must interrogate the pricing. Is a major issue we do, because when the product is well priced, the chances of the operator, the underwriter meeting up with the requirement of paying claims is there. Most times the products fail if not well priced. Thank you. I hope that answers your question. So now we look at Takafu. Takafu is another product, just like microinsurance, that the Commission came up with recently, just about 6-7 years back, to also address the issue, the insurance needs of from segment of the society that are not comfortable with the conventional insurance products, right? So in Nigeria, we have different religious sects. There are some who do not believe in the conventional insurance products. And incidentally, the Takafu, if you understand it well, you find that even the non-Muslims may even patronize it as much as the Muslims, because a lot of people have always asked this question: oh, why should I be paying premium every year and nothing, even when I'm not making any claim? Why should I continue paying paying a premium? Sometimes I do ask such people that I'm sure if you have a security man, that guards your house or your office, if at the end of the month nothing happens, you don't tell such a man that, look, since no criminal came around in the month, I won't pay your salary this month. But be that as it may, Takafu is not exactly like the conventional insurance. This is it is, like I've already said, is just a way of taking care of the interest of those who do not believe in the conventional insurance, particularly the Muslim segment of the society. So the licensing of Takafu companies, we're even about looking at, very soon we'll be coming up with a micro Takafu. But for now, we have a couple of Takafu insurance companies. The licensing procedure, you can see from the screen, is about 4 stages here: preliminary application, verification stage, and licensing stage. It's practically the same. What differs here again, of course, apart from the name Family Takafu, which is like the life, what differs here, or one of the key things here, is that there's what you call the Advisory Council of Experts, ACE. This is one of the things that is a key requirement for the operators to have. These are people who must ensure that their operation is in line with the Sharia, what the Sharia has prescribed, and for the regulator, you also have something similar to that, that also helps the regulator to ensure that whatever product they are introducing is also confirmed to be in line with the Sharia, principles. So apart from that, it is practically the same requirements, registering the company at CAC, ensuring that the promoter, knowing who the promoters are by when they submit the profile of the directors. We ensure they are fit and proper persons. Of course, usually, again, we invite them for interview, just to a similar thing we do for conventional. You can see all that is required, all that are required for the licensing. As I scroll, like I did say, is almost the same thing that we ask for in the conventional. Yes. Here is, of course, proposed reinsurance / Takafo agreement, just in the same way we do for the conventional. All those things we do ask here. I think we any difference. I think it's almost the same. Apart from of course, the licensing fees are not the same. They're not the same. I mentioned that. Of course, again, maybe I mentioned, unlike the conventional, here the CEO must be somebody. There's a requirement for who can be the CEO of a Takafo company, and there's some of the key units, especially technical units. There must be people who are knowledgeable in not just in insurance, but also have are quite conversant with Sharia principles. I think that's all. Okay. I maybe if there's questions I take in because of that, maybe if there's anything I forgot, I should be able to. Okay, the licensing, the same publication, we do make publication before we license for the same reason I gave before. And I think that's it. So, after this, I will now, share that of web aggregator, and that will be the very last. So, I don't know whether you have any question on the Takafo. If you have, let's take it at this point. Otherwise, I just go to the web aggregator because time has moved.
Okay, so how much is the licensing fee for Takafo?
Takafo now, you have family Takafo, that is like life. You have for the life. You have for I think for life is 10 million naira. I think for even general, I said 100 million. For the general is also 100 million. But if you want to do both, of course, that should be 200 million. Yeah. So, and I don't want to take into every financial year, whatever it remains, they make profit, they share amongst the participants. So these ones are not called policyholders; they are called participants. They share amongst them. That's one of those things that I said before. That even Christians may want to buy this kind of thing. Those who always want to. I'm not making claim. Why should I not get something as an incentive? So if you point to that group of person, this Takafo Takafo will offer you that because at the end of the day, if there is profit, like I said, they will share among the participants. If there's not, if there's shortage, the manager of the fund will support, use from his own private support and pay claims and ways to recover when the company start making, breaking even. So that is for Takaful. So what do you, I don't know whether you have, we have a web aggregator. Web aggregator. Not this one. Is it not this one? It should be. Sorry. Just a second. Okay. That's the guideline for web aggregators. This was just recently released by the Commission. And like I did say, we are yet to register any web aggregator at the moment. So it's I think we just have one application now. We're advising to register as a web aggregator. So it's just new. You can see it's just this year. What you can see, I'll just do a quick one. This one will not last as much as the other one. One key thing here will be service level agreement between a web aggregator and an insurer. We try in all cases to tie any outside, because being a regulator, it is not usually easy dealing with somebody who is not within your regulation. So we have always tried to find a way, otherwise, to regulate or to regulate something that is somebody or an operator that is outside your control will be an issue. So that's why here we have said that there must be a service level agreement between the web aggregator and the insurance company, which they intend to partner with. They want to do whatever. So that's one outstanding issue here. Let me say again. Of course, the issue of IT infrastructure requirement for operators of a web aggregator must be, because data, we must be sure as to the security of data, of your customers. If we are not sure of the security of this data, is an issue. So it's very key, very key. What else again? Of course, there are some, you pay some licensing fees. So what else must I, let me see. And of course, the license is not like for now, we don't want to make it a one-off thing that if you're licensed, you can do forever. We'll ensure that it's going to be done in such a way that there will be a room for renewal, so that if there are issues, we attack it. So I think these are basically what I have to say on web aggregator. So I want to take comments, if any, again on this. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe again. Forgive my question. It might sound a bit quote unquote dumb, but I just wanted to have an understanding of.
Sorry, can you be more audible because I'm straight in my ear?
Oh, okay. Can you hear me, sir?
Okay,
Is this better now? Okay, thank you so much. I wanted to ask the just so that there aren't confusion, maybe on my own part. Who and what, or who or what does the regulator consider as a web aggregator? And would you know one or two that you can mention in currently in operation now?
Okay, who can we regard as a web aggregator?
Yes, I just want the Commission's interpretation of what or who or what a web aggregator is.
Okay, who is a web aggregator?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, now
Thank you.
let me just take you to the definition terms here. You see that just a minute. The Commission regards, they say web aggregator means a company registered under CAMA, approved by the Commission under this guide, which maintains or owns a website and avails information pertaining to insurance products and price, features of the product, of insurance, and offers leads to insurer. That's the web aggregators. It's like a company. Of course, it must be registered. It's not a natural person. It's a company registered under CAMA who maintains a website, and it's like if you have a platform where you can place products coming from various companies, doing comparison, say these are the features for this one, these are the features of that one. Look, you throw it, of course, you are simplifying it for the insuring public, making it easy for them to make a choice, right? In that case, you are a web, the Commission sees you as a web aggregator. You make a comparison that involves both the features of the product, the pricing, and the price, and all, anything that will really help you to, to assess a product. You just assess products from different companies, so insurance companies. So it helps insurance consumers to do a quick assessment and make a choice of what they want. Yes, I hope that has answered your concern.
Very clear, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, I have a question. As regards the web aggregator, the part that we've been having issues with is the letter of no objection from the NCC. We've approached NCC separately and their legal department as well, and they don't know how to grant us a letter of no objection to NAICOM, who's another regulator. So what do we do, and how necessary is it? Can it be waived or something?
Okay, first of all, that such a concern, I will advise you let us have it. It will help us to approach them, right? To approach them so that we can iron such things out with them. But basically, the moment we feel that while we're asking to get a no objection from them, you are aware that at a point, one of the challenges we had, even people using their airtime to pay for premium, is similar to this. CBN, NCC, they were not comfortable. So things that will involve another regulator, the nature of a web aggregator, will definitely, NCC has a say, and that's why we said a no objection from them. They just go through.
But they said they'll not be carried along.
Sorry?
They're not carried along. We've met with them severally.
That's what I'm saying. Now, let's have your challenge in writing. That will help us. That will help us. In that case, we now know, oh, these guys, NCC people are saying, look, we are not even in the know of this. that will help us,
Yes,
because if you didn't say this now, we may not know at all. So if you have a challenge, if you have any challenge, like you approach them, they are saying, we don't understand what you are here for. Let us have such. It will help us. We know, how, of course, we will take it up.
Yes, sir. Who do we send this concern to?
Good. Just write to the Commissioner for Insurance.
Okay.
Just write National Insurance Commissioner for Insurance, National Insurance Commission. If you send it to the commission, who will take it, and of course approach who we need to approach.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Okay, I think at this point, my job seems to have been done, and I want to say thank you for listening. I wasn't too sure what I was going to be doing today, but I think we've been able to. I have been able to. I wouldn't know whether I've really satisfied the purpose of inviting me, but I've tried as much as when I was informed. I think it was yesterday I came to really understand even what I was supposed to be doing. So, but I think we've been able to take you through the major guidelines and the requirements for licensing and all that. For those around, you can always approach us if you have any challenge as to any of our procedures, our requirements, and all that. So I want to thank the House again once more for listening. I believe in that I've been able to at least let you have an idea as to some of the things we do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. I believe as far as the session is concerned, you have covered almost most of the things that are needed to be covered, which include the introduction to the insurance industry, the regulator's perspective, the licensing, the registration issues, the microinsurance regulation, as well as the web aggregators guidelines. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for listening to the Director Policy and Regulation. I believe we must have added to our knowledge of what is required of you from the NAICOM as far as registrations are concerned, whether as a broker, whether as a company, whether as a micro insurer or a web aggregator, and so on and so forth. So if you have any issue, as we have identified now, if you have any challenge with the guidelines of the Commission, if you have any challenge with any of the laws, you need interpretation, please feel free to approach the Commission with your observations, comments, and challenges. And I assured you that the Commission, as the Director has said, will take it up and deal with it appropriately. So thank you very much. Emma, are you with us? Hello.
Hello.
In the absence of any other issue, we would like to thank everyone for joining. I believe Emma must be doing something somewhere else. She may no longer be with us. So we would like to close the session in the absence of any question, comment, or observation. My other colleagues from NAICOM, Aisha, Kenneth, Bernard, would like to thank you for joining. I believe we have exhausted all the things that are needed to be discussed. Hello, Aisha. Are you with us?
Hello. I'm with you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Any
So we call it a day,
comments?
right?
Okay, in the absence of no
No,
comments,
we call it a day.
Okay, in the absence of no comments or any observations or contribution, ladies and gentlemen, we call it a day. See you on our next session as we continue